So, Batman 2022, or The Batman. What did I think about it? Well, it's in the title. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. There were just far too many instances where I feel like a scene was dragging out. Um, I'm a huge Batman fan, but even I felt bored at some of the scenes. For example, let's see. After the famous chase scene, which I don't really get why it's famous at all, because I didn't really enjoy it that much. The chase scene itself dragged on, but what really made me realize that the scene was dragging on was when he was walking towards Penguin after Penguin's vehicle tumbled over. So that walk sequence was just far too slow. I know they were sort of making it look like a big and like an awesome feat. Like the penguin was really scared out of his mind, but it just feels it just feels like that scene could have been cut down like maybe I don't know 20 or 30 seconds. Just the walking scene itself. It just took so long. It felt like it's an entire minute. I'm not sure how long it is exactly. So yeah, there were a lot of those there were a lot of those scenes, and sorry, I already forgot how to play Arkham Asylum. This is Yeah, this is the first game I played since I started gaming. Anyway, yeah, so Robert Pattinson being casted as Batman, that's completely fine with me. I have no problems with him. You know, you can joke about Twilight all you want, but from what I've heard, his film career has actually been very good. Water for Elephants and oh, it's Water for Elephants has been critically acclaimed, and there are a lot of fans from what I've seen on like comment section of videos regarding that movie. So yeah, I don't think he was miscast, and he's. I think he looks fit enough to be Batman. I don't really expect Batman to be like you know, uh, Bane's level of muscles, so that's fine with me. My problem with uh, Bruce Wayne in this movie is not Robert Pattinson. It's I think how he was told to play the character, because this Bruce Wayne is very emo. In my opinion, so he doesn't put on a mask like how we've been accustomed to with Christian Bale's Batman, because that is how it's supposed to be. It's to throw off any suspicion that he might be doing something else, and someone might um, begin snooping around, and that's one of the problems with this movie. uh, Bruce Wayne in this movie is still a billionaire, but he's such a recluse. And from what we can see from what we see in the movie, there are a lot of reporters and paparazzi basically from within Gotham. So wouldn't that attract more attention? I, you know, in they went for noir because they wanted to feel realistic. One of the most realistic things that paparazzi would do would be to stalk you, to stalk billionaires, and basically try to find any secret or anything that could tarnish their name. So the fact that we don't see that in the movie throws me off. And yeah, that's why it's justified that even though it's unrealistic for someone to live two lives, that's part of, I guess, the spectacle of Batman. Like, he really needs to, because because Bruce Wayne is a public figure. It's just absurd that he can just leave everything to Alfred and whoever runs the company. So yeah. Also, I don't like how they portrayed Batman here because, so yeah, obviously, I'm justifying why I gave it a 6 out of 10. I don't like how he was portrayed here, especially when he went to confront Penguin at the Ice Lounge, his bar. He just he just walked in the front door and knocked out the two bouncers. Like, why would you do that? Well, why would you, you know, why would Batman ever walk on the front through the front door? What I expect him to at least try. I wouldn't have mind seeing him fail to sneak in the Iceberg Lounge, but I would have wanted to see him try. You know, if you want to go full noir, go full noir. But that's just dumb. That's just action. That's just basic action movie stupidity, in my opinion. Walking in the front door of the enemy you're trying to fight, like, how is that realistic? You know, you'd get shot right away. But yeah. Also, I didn't. Maybe I didn't watch that trailer, or maybe I didn't pay attention to it enough. Apparently his bat suit is, at least the front, is bulletproof. Like, it's he was shot multiple times in the chest and he was just tanking it. Like, it was cool in the scene, but I thought they were going for noir. Won't that make it, less believable that he can just tank that many bullets? I don't get it. So yeah, there's a lack of stealth. I really expected stealth here, like, because yeah, like they said, like, a lot of people were saying before I watched the movie that uh, he hasn't been Batman for long. He hasn't been trained by the League of Shadows, or he hasn't, you know, mastered martial arts in this iteration. So all right, but I expect him to be more tactical, less confrontational, sort of, you know, basically more stealth is what I'm saying. Because if that's a more believable take than walking in through the front door, like you're some kind of, you know, badass in an action film. I really didn't like that. I hated it. Also, the tone of the movie shifts a bit too much, in my opinion. When he was investigating the, I think, Russian girl, and then he found out that she was connected to Catwoman, basically. The scene dragged on because he was looking at her like he was falling in love. Like, it's a bit out of place, in my opinion. Like, it's a serious scene, or at least he's investigating, and then he's just, going to admire someone he thinks is beautiful. Like, where's the urgency of what he's doing there? So yeah, that the scene lost momentum for me. Um, yeah, and the fights, there weren't anything spectacular in the fight, nothing impressive. I'm not expecting him to be like this Batman on the screen. Like, I don't expect him to flip around because this isn't what they were going for. But I expect him to be like sort of, to pull off some simple moves that would still be impressive for the average person. Because yeah, he fights like the average brawler actually. Even though yeah he was able to defeat the goons, the at, I believe at the train station. But I actually expected those guys to put up put up more of a fight, but that's fine. It was the first scene, so yeah. There's a lot of off moments in the movie, and when Jim Gordon and Batman was interrogating, or at least sort of harassing Penguin, then Penguin started making jokes about it. Like he wasn't even scared at all. That just made me laugh and it took me out of it. Like, why would you? Why would the director like place that line in there? It just breaks the tension and the whole like buddy cop thing they did with with how they interrogated Penguin. That also wasn't very noir of them. Like it felt like TV cops, so that's not good. I didn't like that. Um, for so if they were going for noir, they obviously didn't go full noir, which I'm not sure why not, because they had R13 or R16 rating for the movie. So yeah, what's the point if you're not going to, utilize that? When he did his first glide, the suit up scene was amazing, but so uh he crashed on a steel beam, I believe, and then or like a steel signboard on the road, and then he crashed through the ground. And the like, you know, in any other noir film, he wouldn't be able to just continue on after that. Like, actually expect him to call Alfred. If you remember correctly, in Batman Begins, the first time that Batman encountered Scarecrow, he was gassed by using Scarecrow's fear toxin, and then he actually started panicking. The drug took effect, and he had to call in Alfred, and that's a great scene because it shows that this isn't the invulnerable Batman yet. He's still learning because that is, I believe, he was still in his first year as Batman. Um, this Robert Pattinson Batman, he's been a Batman for quite a while now because like it was hinted at because he is no longer used to the sunlight. He refrains from the sunlight. Um, in one scene, it was given emphasis on, and that's something that won't easily happen to you if you just like uh, s- just stay up at night for 2 years. That's the effect of several more years of staying up just during the night. So, or at least in sort of the Batcave. So he has been Batman for quite some time now, but it feels like he's still, he's still so weak, in my opinion. I just wanted a bit to be impressed a bit more. with the action scenes because that's the difference of my expectations for movies and films. It's just the overall execution, whether it's the locations, the set pieces, the CGI, the fight scenes. I expect everything to be better in a movie than you know the this Batman movie felt like a really long TV episode. Uh, it felt like a TV movie actually. So yeah, and I really have a problem with the armor thing because it just just doesn't fit the themes, or like if they really wanted to be serious, it really doesn't fit it. Being bulletproof is quite absurd. I mean, yeah, it's possible, but his gadgets are very limited, so why would his armor be super upgraded? Anyway, for Catwoman, there's not much to say about her. I didn't feel like she brought anything to the role except portraying Bruce as someone who feels like he doesn't really want to be Batman anymore, which we did have in The Dark Knight, and I did appreciate that. But you know, the love story is oh, the love story didn't really work for me. Let me just beat up this guy. Here we go. And so yeah, as for Gordon, the guy who portrayed Gordon, I believe he was fine. Didn't have much of a problem with him, except for you know um, the whole body cop thing with Penguin. As for Riddler, I was really excited to see him. He was basically the reason why I saw the movie because I was so interested with. Um, oh, I was so interested with how dark his character seems to be for and for the movie. And the best scene that I've had that the movie has with him is the scene that they showed in the trailer. Like, why would you show it in the trailer if that's the best scene? It's the only one where I believe he got the most intimate with. Like he bashed someone's head in with a wrench or a screwdriver, I'm not sure. So my biggest complaint with the movie is that the in, the sort of interrogation scene with after Riddler was caught and he was in Arkham Asylum, and Batman went there as well. He was talking about it's sort of a villain's confession type of deal, which is fine. However, all that time there was a lot of build up. I believe it was at least 2 minutes of them building up that oh no, he's hinting that he knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman for like 2 minutes, and I was really excited. I was like, crap, damn, what's he gonna do now uh if his identity is released this early? Because you know I expect there to be sequels to the movie, but I'm not sure. Um, I really like that idea. I really like that idea when Spider-Man did it, so I really like that as well here in Batman, especially because Batman doesn't have superpowers. He's much more vulnerable. He doesn't have a spidey sense. Everything he does, he has to do basically, manually without any help. And he does have, very minimal gadgets, though. He does have some advanced ones like the contact lens camera. Anyway, yeah, that was really interesting for me. It was really tense. I was really on the edge of my seat. I was like, yeah, I really like this. Where's this gonna go? It is really scary for Batman. And and then it was nothing. And they sort of chickened out with it. Like, apparently Riddler doesn't know, and that's really really annoying because out of all of Batman's villains, Riddler is the smartest one. It's even said that if Riddler wasn't so obsessed with showing off how smart he is, he would actually be, you know, he is on par with Batman's intelligence. Batman can just outsmart him because Riddler is too focused on portraying how smart he is. So yeah, if there's any villain to know who the man under the mask is, it would have been Riddler. The fact that they were hinting at it, that they made the scene very tense when he was describing the orphanage, and his admiration for Batman. It would have been perfect for him to know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, but I feel like they chickened out. So, yeah, that's my biggest problem with the film. It would have been so interesting. The only standout fight scene, even the last fight scene with the Riddler hooligans inside the dome, wasn't anything spectacular. It just feels like all the fight scenes could have been done on TV. That's my problem with it. Like, they weren't using wires or harnesses or anything to pull off a sick move. Even just one sick move. Because the only thing we got there in that fight was the Venom injection, but a lot of people are saying it's just a normal adrenaline. But yeah, I think it's Venom. Venom is the chemical that Bane uses to gain like super strength and increase his muscle mass. So yeah, I think they were hinting on that. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks.